Good day, everybody. This is Brett Pretorius. I'm here with Peter de Beer. This morning talking about a question that seems to have come up quite a bit in people's minds, and that's the matter of a UDI. So I'm going to ask Peter just to start off with, what is this UDI? Peter, how do we understand a UDI?
All right, the term UDI, Unilateral Declaration of Independence, and I'm not sure if there's a formal Afrikaans translation, maar vir die Afrikaanse mense eensydige verklaring van onafhanklikheid. Dit is 'n term wat eintlik begin het toe Rhodesia in 1965 hulle onafhanklikheid van die Britse regering van die United Kingdom. They declared independence from the United Kingdom. They claimed it from the United Kingdom and broke away through declaring a unilateral declaration of independence. So we are dependent. We're not depending on the United Kingdom anymore. And they had their reasons and they broke away. So Rhodesia het hierdie term in die internasionale gemeenskap eintlik afgeskop. And that is where it originates from. If that was your question.
Yes, yes. Yes, a unilateral declaration of independence. That's what an UDI is. And what is it used for? Can any country just say, we have a UDI and we are now going to be independent? So, for example, in the Western Cape, they're talking about the referendum and so on. Why don't they just have a UDI and be independent? After all, that's what they want, or what they say most people want.
Yeah, there are certain conditions. I mean, in Rhodesia's case, that was colonialism that they actually got rid of. So a lot of countries, even in the history of countries that seceded or broke away and claimed their independence, was through, as we all know, through ending colonialism. You know, after World War II, a lot of countries were managing, if you want to call it that, other countries, you know, and they took control of certain areas, regions, and which became countries at the end of the day again, when they were allowed to be independent from the especially United Kingdom, British rule, German. They were all involved in claiming a country, you know, during the wartime. So a lot of countries broke away. So if there's a proper motivation, then UDI can be applied. But in our case, in South Africa, where we are looking at basically breaking away a group of people from the rest of the country, which is international right, the UDI applies under certain conditions. That is what international law will allow us to use a UDI for.
If those conditions do not exist, you can't declare a UDI.
Yeah, you can't just declare a UDI because just because you want to break away.
Then you've got to use another route. Okay. And yes. What are those conditions, Peter?
Well, in our case, and I'm sure that's what you're referring to. In our case, when a group of people want to break away, and within our secession process of the United Liberty Alliance, it is applied under two conditions, basically. And the first is that when we get to the point of calling a referendum, and we've got our 2 million mandates as proof of the will of the people, and now we've reached the point where we're actually calling a referendum through the government. We're actually instructing the government. It's not begging, you know, or asking very nicely. Yeah, we're actually asking very nicely, but they're actually obliged to.
Because it's part of the legal process.
Because it's part of the legal process.
Okay.
And that's actually a very important point, because you can't just say, I want a referendum, you're not agreeing, you know, so we're going to declare UDI. It's not that. You've got to have your ducks in a row. You've got to have your legal build up to that point. It's got to be intact. Everything is got to be done. Okay. So net om myself te herhaal in Afrikaans, wanneer mens UDI of 'n eensydige onafhanklikheidsverklaring wil uitreik, dan moet jy die terme van ons proses, wat die cessering is, waar 'n groep mense gaan wegbreek van die res van die land, en ons het die mandate van 2 miljoen, wat vir ons bewys dis die wil van die mense om weg te breek, en nou gee ons aan die regering 'n instruksie om 'n referendum uit te roep, wat 'n wetlike aksie is, 'n wetlike versoek, en dit is 'n wetlike versoek omrede die VVA alreeds die 8 jaar proses met al die vereiste stappe reeds gevolg het. Daarom het die VVA dan die mag, die reg, om daardie versoek terug aan die regering. So dit is die een punt. Nou as ons daardie punt bereik, en die regering weier om die referendum uit te roep, of hulle sou dit ignoreer, soos wat hulle alreeds baie gedoen het met ons kommunikasie, dan is dit die reg van die VVA om daardie UDI dan te verklaar. So yeah, when we get to the point where the government then refuses to acknowledge the call for a referendum, or they ignore it plainly, like they've done before, with all communication from the UDI, then the UDI has the right to call for a UDI.
Okay, but up until that point, there's a very specific process dictated to by international secession law that had to be followed, am I right? In order to put our leadership in a position to say, right, we can now call it a UDI, because this process has been followed exactly as prescribed.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
100%, because the one requirement that will come up is if you want to declare a UDI, again, another country, one other independent country has to give their consent. They have to ratify this.
Okay.
So een ander land sal moet die UDI erken en sê ja, die UDI wat jy wil aankondig is legitimate. Dit is 'n wet, dit is geregverdig. So it's not just a case of UDI and tomorrow we're a new country and now Wadi Fla. Unfortunately, for some, well, those that do not follow the process, there's one country, and we must remember this country is not just there to, where can I sign? They've got to investigate your process. And because they are acting on behalf of the international community.
Right.
And if they are proxy to the rest of the 100 and whatever countries that will look at this, they got to be certain that they do things within the international law. So dit is nie net 'n kwessie van daardie land kom teken gou-gou, waar moet ek teken en dat ons kan gaan wyn drink hè. Hulle moet die res van die wêreld verteenwoordig met daai ondertekening en sê yes, ek stem saam want julle het al hierdie stappe gedoen, ek het al julle dokumente gedeurgegaan, 100%, julle kan 'n UDI verklaar en dan die proses afsluit.
En is ek reg om te sê dat geen land gaan op hierdie stadium sê ja, ek sal julle verifiseer vir julle of julle agter julle staan vir julle UDI, omdat hulle wanneer dit gebeur nog moet ondersoek instel om te sien wat is die proses 100% gevolg, en hulle kan dit nou nog op hierdie stadium kan hulle dit nog nie doen nie, al wil hulle. Hulle kan nie opstaan en sê ons sal julle ondersteun nie, want hulle weet nie of daai proses 100% gevolg is nie, hulle moet dit nog ondersoek. Al is hulle gewillig. Okay.
Ja, dis 100%.
Goed,
dit is die een been, en dan die ander been,
Okay.
Ons net vlugtig noem, maar ek dink nie
Ja.
ons gaan baie oor dit gesels. Daar is nog 'n kondisie waaronder 'n UDI kan plaasvind. En dit is wanneer dit kan bewys word dat die regering die land se konstitusie totaal vertrap, dat hulle dit buig na soos wat hulle dit wil hê, dat hulle geskrewe wetgewing waarvoor die mense, die inwoners eintlik ingestem het vir daardie konstitusie, dat hulle dit dan verontagsaam en hulle dit vertrap en die menseregte wat daarin is oorskry. So the other side of this is that it can come to a point where if there's proof of the government blatantly trampling on the constitutional rights of the people and changing and doing the opposite of what is actually embedded in our constitution, then it also will constitute a UDI. But now there's a huge but with this.
Okay.
So it is a biomedical.
Let's wait for it.
You cannot, the practicality of going this route and saying, I'm going to declare UDI because the government is, they've done what they wanted with this constitution. This is not what I signed up for. I did not sign up for all these changes that they made. There was no referendum on changing law. They just went and did whatever they wanted. Now we know that's a situation that is happening in the country.
Correct.
And the but that I'm going to name here is it's extremely, extremely time consuming and costly, because this has to go to the criminal courts, international criminal court basically. And it's immensely time consuming with a lot of red tape that's going to be involved. And you can think, especially in today's world where we've got more enemies than friends, that this is going to be court case upon court case upon court case, very expensive and time consuming. It's going to take you don't know how many years to do that. So it's not really an option for us.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the government is carrying on enforcing the rules that they've changed the constitution for, while, yeah, it doesn't seem like a very good option. Skus, Pieter, gaan voort.
Ja, ek wou net gou in Afrikaans ook verduidelik het vir die Afrikaanse mense.
Asseblief, ja.
Ja, dit is maar net as die regering dan nou hier oortreding gedoen het en die konstitusie verander soos hulle wil, wat hulle reeds doen, ons weet dit. Die groot probleem hiermee om daardie aan te spreek of ons daardie weg te hardloop en sê nou gaan ek 'n UDI kry want ek gaan die bewys lewer dat hulle al hierdie dinge doen, en jy neem hierdie dan na die internasionale hof, na die wêreldhof, dan raak dit ontsettend tydsaam en verskriklik duur, want dit gaan jare en jare en jare aangaan en hulle gaan dit teenbewyse bring en hulle gaan allerlei dinge doen wat tipies hulle gaan in daardie hof probeer hulself verdedig, en die ondersteuning weet ons sal ook nie daar wees van 'n regskant, so dit gaan 'n baie moeilike en ontsettend, as ek sê, Hein ken die, hy kan dalk vir nog 'n bedrag ook gee wat so iets kan kos, maar dit is heeltemal prakties onmoontlik om dit te doen. So ons bly daarom by die normale proses van de jure, en sou ons dan by die punt kom waar die referendum geïgnoreer word, dan is ons nog steeds die optie vir UDI. So we will always have the option, once now that we have followed now you can understand why the ULA has been so very diligently following international law. Because if you don't do that, if you don't do your homework properly, there's a point where you're going to have to go back, turn around. We don't want to turn around. There's one way we're going to end this process, whether by normal referendum or whether by UDI.
Dear, thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership in the marketing team. And just in closing, yeah, net om af te sluit, could you just give us a very quick summary of what is the shortest route from A, where we are now, to B, where we can call for that referendum, so that everybody listening now and everybody who's going to watch this video in future can know what to do?
Well, I think we are on the shortest route and the safest route.
Okay.
The best choice we want to exercise without major life losses and discomfort and whatever. We have the luxury of being able to prepare for what's coming. So we got to use that to the best of our advantage, and that means that we got to get those mandates. And if every person just every day just inform 4 more people and get their mandates, inform them properly of what the process is about, of what what we're looking for. We're looking for freedom and nothing else. We're not looking for political status. We're not looking for personal, shine and spotlight. We're looking for everybody's freedom. So die oplossing is eenvoudig en dit is nou op hierdie oomblik die veiligste en die wetlike manier wat hulle eintlik niks kan aandoen nie. Jy weet, al spartel hulle hoe hard om hierdie proses te stop. It will happen. Hierdie gaan gebeur. En al wat ons dit kan doen is as elke persoon net hierdie woord versprei en nog 4 of 5 mense elke dag net kry wat op jou lysie is van netwerk en sê vir hulle gee jou mandaat, dan gaan ons hierdie doelwit baie vinniger bereik. En as ons die 2 miljoen mandate het, dan is ons by die laaste hekkie. En dit is om daai referendum te vra en dan gaan ons weet waar ons staan. Ons kry die referendum of hulle weier hom. So we will know once we get those 2 million mandates, we will come to the final hurdle and end this process and get our freedom that we deserve.
Just to emphasize, giving your mandate is not committing to anything. It is simply your show of support, your show of agreement that we need to move forward and have our own independent sovereign country, right?
Yeah, you will not be blacklisted, whitelisted, or anything. You're not signing a membership with the UDI. You're not signing a membership with anybody else. You're not doing a political mandate or a vote. Basically, you're only saying, yes, I agree. I want to break away. So jy gee geen stemming, jy sluit nie aan by die VVA nie, jy het nie 'n lidmaatskap nie. Jy sê basies net, ja, ek is deel van die mense wat sê, ons wil wegkom. Dis al wat jy doen. Niks meer.
Okay. Pieter de Beer, baie dankie. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this. This is Brett Pretorius, and we're signing off until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.